Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. William is expected in New York today. CNN tells of how William wants to be a statesman. William's visit coincides with both Climate Week NYC and the 78th session of the UN General Assembly. An aide told CNN, in addition to unveiling this year's Earthshot finalists, you're also going to see Prince William sitting down with the UN Secretary General and other world leaders. This really is the evolution of Prince William as the global statesman. You've started to see this evolution over the last 6 months, whether it be him sitting down with President Biden in Boston in November or heading to the Ukrainian border to meet with British troops. Which brings us back to Harry. Remember that bizarre Nato photo op last week? The Daily Beast reports that, according to some, this was an attempt to blunt the impact of William's planned meetings at the UN. One friend of Harry told the Daily Beast, "It has been wonderful to see him getting stuck into Invictus. This is what Harry is all about. All his old friends are just hoping that whatever the situation with the family may be, at least he can move on with his professional life. This is what he has always wanted to do, help people, make a difference, have an impact. It's great." There was a lot of headline jockeying as recapped by The Beast, who wrote, "On Tuesday, Kate made a high-profile visit to a men's jail. If her new butterfly fringe haircut wasn't enough to guarantee acres of coverage, the fact that her aides told reporters that her bandaged finger had been injured in a trampoline accident with her kids at their Windsor home made it hard to shirk the feeling that the Waleses were unwilling to roll over and cede the limelight to Harry. Don't forget, Kate is the one who apparently insisted, recollections may vary, was included in the late Queen's reaction to the Oprah interview. On Thursday, just before Harry and Meghan's big Nato photo call came out, William and Kate cooked food around a campfire at a forest school focused on teaching kids about conservation. Lovely pictures, and if you were a picture editor, which royal would you put on the front page? William and Kate toasting marshmallows with some cute kids, or Harry and Meghan with a stuffed shirt military general? While we're down with the conspiracy theories, one friend of William's told the Daily Beast that William was above petty moves. The reality is William can click his fingers and organise a fireside chat at Windsor Castle to bring impact to his causes. Harry can't do that stuff anymore, but that's the inevitable consequence of his choice to leave the royal family. William is the heir to the throne and Harry is just a private individual without that access. That's what he wanted. Royal author Tom Bower is making the rounds promoting revenge, Meghan, Harry, and the war between the Windsors, Kate and William, and tells the Express not to expect the Fab Four to reunite. Absolutely not. No, there's no chance of any reconciliation. All the signs are that the one thing William and Kate don't want is to have anything to do with Harry and Meghan. They should be well advised to stay away from them. They can only do them harm. Harry and Meghan have only said awful things about William and Kate. Why on earth should William and Kate forgive them? They only think of how they have been harmed. They never think that when they told their lives to Oprah Winfrey or his book Spare, or terrible accusations against William and Kate or against Camilla, it was just shocking behaviour. Why should anyone forget what he did or forgive him? Also in the Express, a commentary piece from Richard Fitzwilliams under the headline, "Prince Harry is bitter, untrustworthy and unpredictable and he must find freedom." Fitzwilliams writes, "Harry's charitable work has been remarkable, but he has been able to achieve it only because of his royal status. This states the obvious, but the Sussexes sometimes need reminding that they are only of interest because they are royal. There is no doubt that the termination of their contract with Spotify was a blow for the Sussexes. Their Netflix contract, which is worth $100 million, does not expire until 2025, but once the last series of The Crown is aired, the streaming giant may have less use for them. A good deal depends on how successfully they adapt the romantic novel Meet Me at the Lake. Although it contained courageous stories, Harry's recent docuseries for Netflix, Heart of Invictus, has not been the hit that it was hoped, almost certainly due to its excessive 5-hour length. Yet their brand retains international fascination. The worldwide publicity when Harry appeared in court as a witness, the first royal to do so since 1891, and when paparazzi followed them in New York after an awards ceremony in the near-catastrophic car chase, was vast. As was clear in Spare, Harry always resented being regarded as the royal wild child in the past. Too often now his image suffers because of his own behaviour. The Sussexes seem unpredictable, bitter and untrustworthy. The challenge for Harry as he enters his 40th year is to find freedom in a more creative way. Palace Intrigue will be right back. The Mirror reports King Charles is supportive of solving one of the biggest mysteries in royal history. The mystery to be solved involves confirming whether two children's skeletons, which are currently at rest in Westminster Abbey, are in fact the bodies of young King Edward V and his brother Richard, Duke of York. The Mirror educates those of us not up to speed on the mystery. The Princes in the Tower is a story that has haunted historians for hundreds of years. What happened to the children? Did their uncle Richard III play any role in their disappearance? And crucially, are the two bodies found during the reign of Charles II actually the remains of the young royals? Two bodies of young children were found near the chapel in the White Tower of the Tower of London in 1674 and were placed in an urn and interred at Westminster Abbey on the orders of Charles II. As the bodies were placed in the royal crypts, any further investigation requires the monarch's consent. Upon the death of King Edward IV in 1483, his 12-year-old son succeeded him as King Edward V and was met by his uncle Richard III. The story goes that Edward and his 9-year-old brother Richard were sent to live at the Tower of London ahead of Edward V's coronation. However, Richard declared that his nephews were illegitimate and that he was the only true heir to the House of York. He gathered support from many powerful sources and was crowned on July 6. It is said that the two princes were taken to inner apartments within the tower and were not seen in public again after the summer of 1483. The bodies of two children were found in a box under a staircase in the Tower of London during Charles II's reign and were interned in the royal crypts. While other children's skeletons had been found before, the belief that these bodies were those of the lost princes is supported by the fact that the box contained rags of velvet and matched the location given in an account by historian Thomas More. Queen Elizabeth blocked any attempt to investigate the legitimacy of the bones. Chief Curator of Historic Royal Palaces Tracy Borman explained, "Charles has said he would like an investigation to go ahead so that we can determine once and for all how the young royals died." And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please head on over to YouTube or youtube.com and do a search for Palace Intrigue there and hit that subscribe button. You don't have to listen to the show again, but it would help us out. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue. Good times.